evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Huddle Hub Podcast. My name is Metal Mike, and I'm joined here, as always, with the man. Oh, my gosh, wrong one. I'm joined here, as always, with the Pickmaster himself, the Candyman, Mr. Johnny H. John, you are on mute, but how are you doing on this great Tuesday evening? You're on mute. Unmute.
I know.
Mute. How you
It's
doing on this
great.
Tuesday evening?
Great to be back. It's great to be back. Different day, different time, but we still gonna have a good time.
Yeah, so we the Huddle Hub is still a fairly young product. It is still a fairly young, whatever you want to call it. And to expand to a second day is just super exciting because, when you go live on a Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, you have to try and jam pack almost everything in before the NFL kicks off at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And now on Sunday mornings, and just to make this announcement right out of the gates, we will be live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, myself and John, to recap the NFL week that just happened and to give you a preview of the college football week coming up. Why? Because we'll recap college football on Sunday of the action that happened the day before, and we'll preview the NFL that's coming up. So Tuesdays is going to be the recap for the NFL and a preview for the college football. And then Sunday will be the college football recap and the preview to the upcoming NFL week. And not only that, we made more of an addition to the Huddle Hub podcast because
our huddle is growing.
It is growing. That is right. We got more players that are going to be on the field. Mr. Cam G will be joining me on Sundays, and John and I will be on the Tuesday show. So, again, we're fairly young. We're still growing, day by day. We're gaining a follower by follower on the YouTube, subscription by subscription. But it's still a good time to grow, to have that growth, because as we grow, we can put out more content and we can just keep giving you guys football and what we love to talk about. So, this growth is a great time to do it, and it's going to be awesome. We will be live 2 days a week. And John, we've talked about some more expansions coming in the future. Not now, but in the future. So stay tuned for it, because more growth of the Huddle Hub podcast is yet to come. And if you want to help us with that growth, head over to all the Huddle Hub podcast social medias right now. If you are on the Twitch channel, all the links are below in the bio. You just got to click on whatever link. Actually, go click on all the links. Hit that follow button. On the YouTube, you're going to hit the subscribe button. That's how you follow on YouTube. You don't have to pay any money. You probably think, subscription, I got to pull out some money. No, you don't have to pay anything. That's how you follow on the YouTube. So hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Over on the X and TikTok at the Huddle Hub Pod, hit that follow button. Hit the follow button here on the Twitch channel and help us build the Huddle Hub podcast through the 2025 season and beyond. So
all this content could be yours for free 99.
Free 99. Yes, free 99. And here's the thing, John, is we are very close to Twitch affiliation. Very, very close to Twitch affiliation, which I'm super excited about. So, tell your friends, tell a family member, tell your neighbors, tell your pets, hit the follow button. Help us get to that affiliation on Twitch. It would definitely be appreciated. So we are very close to accomplishing a lot of the stuff that we want to accomplish here. And it's one day at a time, one show at a time. And we'll get there. We will. John, let's get into some of the stuff that's been number one. Let's get into the NFL stuff first. We'll do the college football stuff a little later. We'll get into the college football stuff as we get closer towards the end of the show. Why? Because the college football week is coming upon us. So let's recap the NFL first. Let's get into the news let's get into the recap of week one. Okay? We'll recap week one. So week one, John, I will say this, and I said this to you the other day, that this was the best week one of NFL action that we've gotten in years. It seemed like any game that you threw on did not disappoint. So, John, we did this last year, and I'm going to ask you this now because we'll continue it. It's tradition to do this. what were your game or games of the week?
Game or games of the week.
If you have one game of the week, if you have a couple games that caught your eye, what game or games was your game or games of the week?
There were quite a few of them. The Buccaneers holding off the Falcons and coming back and winning 23-20. The 49ers coming back and taking the lead with like a minute something left, 17-13. And then Nick Bosa with that strip sack with about 36 seconds left to secure it. That was huge. Another game there's two more games I want to quick touch up is that Monday night game between the Vikings and the Bears. It was the tale of two halves. In the first half, the Bears were rolling. Caleb Williams looked sharp. Ben Johnson looked like his offense was going to be proficient. But then as the game went on, the Bears unraveled. I mean, at one point, the Bears were up 13-6 going into the third quarter. I'm sorry, going into the fourth quarter. And then the flip just got the script got flipped. All of a sudden, it started clicking for J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings. McCarthy looked lost. He looked like deer in the headlights in that first half. It's that it's that fourth quarter that he really got it together and led the Vikings to come back. And then that wild Sunday night football game where the Bills put up 22 unanswered points in the or not 22 unanswered, but 22 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
To really steal that from the Ravens, 41-40. I mean, Josh Allen showed everybody why he was the MVP last year. Keenan Coleman was making all the catches he needed to make. That was a wild one Sunday night.
Yeah, I mean, the Sunday night game was magnificent. I mean, on a Sunday night football game, sometimes when you're watching, you're kind of like, all right, this game is kind of one-sided right now. Maybe I'll change the channel and then flip back and see if anything changed later. But no, this game, even though the Ravens at one point had a lead 40-25 with 6 minutes and some change left in the game, you're thinking, this is Josh Allen and the Bills, though. Like, they've done this before. They've come back from deficits before. This big, I don't think they've ever have. But it's Josh Allen and the Bills. And I was floating across social media yesterday, and somebody said on a video that, they were, I guess they were either at the Bills game or something like that, and they said people were starting to leave. I guarantee they were regretting it. Because you need to remember, this is Josh Allen being under center for the Buffalo Bills. Like, your time of worrying whether this team is going to have a losing season or not, right now at this moment, is kind of over. The only thing you need to worry about right now is whether the Bills can get over that hump, win the AFC Championship, and get to a Super Bowl. Because it's been so long. That's the only thing you really have to concern about. But for the Bills to be out of the game, they're never out of a game. Never. And I don't want to hear anybody say, oh, well, did you watch their preseason game when they got that's freaking preseason.
Nobody's going to say that.
Didn't count. Exactly. So the Bills are never out of a game with number 17 under center. That's one of my games of the week. The Bills and the Ravens. My other game of the week, Jets-Steelers. What a game. What a game.
I thought the Jets were going to take that. Then Pittsburgh, holy smokes.
I want to say this. There are a lot of doubters out there for Aaron Rodgers. Okay? And I've been saying all offseason, and you can attest to this for me because I've been saying it to you too. I think a lot of people were underestimating Aaron Rodgers. And I was saying all offseason that I feel like Aaron Rodgers is going to be a different person heading in as the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. And what did he go do? What was it? 244 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. The man is one. The man is one touchdown away from tying Brett Favre in the all-time touchdown passing leader. One touchdown pass away.
I believe it was the New York Post that had the back of the paper had a picture of Aaron Rodgers, and the headline was, "Now he plays." He left New York. Now he plays.
How about surround him with players that are going to be effective? Not saying that Garrett Wilson's not effective. Not saying that their running back position isn't effective, because they got a couple good running backs in New York.
Wasn't last year though, and Breece Hall even said before the season started, "I have to show them what I can do, or I'm going to be out the door."
Well, because he had
107 yards.
He's on a contract year this year. He's a free agent at the end of the year. So he's got to, that's why he didn't get a contract, was because they want him to prove himself before they commit to him long term.
Yep.
So it's like, it's not like he didn't have a run game around him. He does have reliable wide receivers. Their offensive line was terrible last year. Was bad. And their defense wasn't the best defense in the league last year. So, and even if you look at Aaron Rodgers' statistics last year, he had a pretty good statistical year last year. Not bad. He
didn't have a bad year.
No. But to come out, and I was saying it, I feel like it's a different thing for him in Pittsburgh. And then hearing all the stories about how he's going to even rookies' homes, to where rookies are staying, to go and sit and play cards or board games or video games and just hang out with those boys at nighttime. He's full on in Pittsburgh. And then just his confidence. You see the confidence in him on the field. Didn't look frustrated on bad plays. Kind of swiped off those bad plays and said, "We'll get back to it. Don't worry." Steelers are 1-0, Steelers fans. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to do perfectly fine in Pittsburgh this year. And I think you are underestimating AR8. Just saying.
He'll get to the playoffs, but I don't know if he'll actually get them over that hump of winning that playoff game. But he probably will definitely get them there.
And that's my thing too, is I think he'll get them to the playoffs. But do I think they get far? No. Maybe they'll get that first playoff win since 2016. Maybe get, past the wild card round, get to the divisional round. But then anything past the divisional round, I don't think so. I don't think they get to the conference title game. I don't see that.
See the Steelers realistically beating either the Ravens or the Bills.
Yeah.
So.
But my other game of the week was the Lions and the Packers. You're thinking the Packers, they went out and beat up on the Lions. The reason why the Packers and Lions game is my third game of the week is because this proves my point on what I was trying to make about the Green Bay Packers. A lot of people were giving me heat on Sunday when I made my week one picks. How can you pick the Packers over the Lions? The Lions are going to go into Lambeau and destroy them. No, they're not. This is a different Green Bay team, and I'm not just saying that because of Micah Parsons either. And when I did my predictions for the full year 3 weeks ago, I had my predictions done way before the Micah Parsons trade. I still believe the Packers are going to have a great year. I still believe that the Packers could possibly get home field advantage this year. There's a chance. They are a good enough team to do it. But for people to say, "Oh, the Lions are going to demolish them," how can you pick the Packers? Did you watch the Lions game and the Lions-Packers game on Sunday? That's why I picked the Packers over the Lions. There you go. So, yeah, the Packers, I think, are on a full go right now. Do I think they can make a run for the Lombardi? Maybe. If they play the way they played on Sunday against Detroit, they might be able to make that run. But it's too early to tell right now. It's too early to tell. We're in week 1, going into week 2. So we'll see what happens. But those are my 3 games of the week. John, as far as the picks, John, you went 12-4 this week. Congratulations.
I
went 11-5 on the week. So not a bad start. You're +1 going into week 2. So a little closer than I would have to go back and look at the former last year, but I believe that this is actually closer than what we were at the beginning of the year last year.
A little closer, but the same result.
I think you might have. I think you might have had like a 3-game lead already going into week 2 last year.
Maybe.
So, but that's the recap from week 1. But yeah, great week, and we'll give our picks for week 2. Well, John will send me his picks, and I will give you his picks for the pick challenge on Sunday's show for week 2. So, just like I did for week 1. John, let's get into the news. The news that has come out in the world of football. And I wanted to do the news because this is post week 1. If I would have did the news now, it wouldn't have made sense to go in the order. You know what I mean? So Matthew Stafford from the Rams, in the game on Sunday against the Texans, he became the 10th quarterback all time to surpass 60,000 passing yards. So Matthew Stafford is in the 60,000 yard passing club. Your thoughts on Matthew Stafford and getting into that top 10?
First of all, congratulations to Matthew Stafford. And it was only a matter of time. He was putting up at least 4,000 yards a season while he was in all his time in Detroit. Eventually, it was going to add up if he played long enough. Well deserved. It just solidifies his spot in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I had a lot of doubts of Matthew Stafford starting in week 1. Because of all the back issues and the reports of there's a chance he may not even see the field. But then when we talked last on the show, I said, this is Matthew Stafford, though, and he'll find a way to get on the field for week 1 and for the Rams. Like, I don't think he would sit there and say, you know what, let the other guy start in week 1. I got to go out there and be with my team. So, congratulations to Matthew Stafford getting there. And yeah, you're right. I mean, when he was in Detroit, almost every year he was surpassing the 3,000.
He was putting up the numbers. They just weren't winning games.
Yeah. So, Geno Smith, quarterback of the Raiders, he set a new Raiders record for passing yards in a debut. He threw for 362 yards in their game Sunday. But he is now the new record holder for a debuting quarterback in a game. So he made his Raiders debut, passed for 362 yards, and he is now in the record books and holds that record for the Raiders. Geno Smith, deep in his career, breaking a record. So your thoughts on Geno Smith and breaking the Raiders' new debut game passing yard record?
Oh, it's a step in the right direction for the Raiders. I mean, he got reunited with his old coach from Seattle, Pete Carroll, and he has weapons to throw the ball to. Jacoby Meyer, Brock Bowers. So I see no reasons why the Raiders offense will not keep them in games this year, unlike last year and years previous. And I'm pretty sure their defense, I don't want to say they're average at best, because I'm probably overlooking some guys other than Max Crosby. But as long as their defense keeps them competitive, their offense should give them chances to win games. Geno Smith coming over there along with Pete Carroll was huge.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think a lot of people thought Geno Smith was going to do this good even in the opening game. But some would say, too, is like they're playing the Patriots, and the Patriots are picked to be a surprise team to make the playoffs this year, and I still don't think that. I don't think the Patriots are going to touch the playoffs.
I don't think they'll win more than 8, to be honest with you.
I have them winning less than 5 this year. So, and they were the best team statistically coming out of preseason this year, which is crazy. So, you look at their stats from preseason, it's like, man, this is supposed to be a winning football team. They were out there whipping on, and to least its own, they were playing against backups, but they were going out putting up 30. Backups. They were putting up 30, 40 points on the Commanders, So, but congratulations, Geno Smith, for breaking the Raiders all-time debut game record, passing record. Colton Mikovits, the right tackle of the 49ers, he has signed a 3-year deal worth $45 million. That's the extension. So, John, your thoughts on Colton Mikovits signing that extension with the 49ers?
Good. Keep that line together. Keep it together. Keep them healthy. I like that move a lot.
Yeah, this is a good addition for the 49ers to do, to keep an offensive line together and make sure they are protecting Brock Purdy at all costs. We know that Brock Purdy, and we'll talk about Brock Purdy in a moment, he is dealing with some injury stuff. Again, we'll talk about that in a moment. But, you want to try and keep together an offensive line can go out there and trust them to keep your quarterback protected. And Colton Mikovits obviously has, wowed a bunch of the people in the front office and the coaches to say, hey, let's extend this guy for another 3 years, $45 million. The deal is done. So Colton Mikovits is a 49er for at least the next 3 years. So Brian Daboll, head coach of the Giants, he was in an interview yesterday on Monday, and he was asked about the starting quarterback position going into week 2. Now, he did say that he's not fully committed to who's going to start in week 2 because of Russell Wilson's performance on Sunday against the Commanders. But then today in a press conference, he had mentioned that Russell Wilson will start in week 2 for the Giants. So, John, your thoughts on this? I mean, the indecisiveness of the head coach, Brian Daboll, out in New York, one day saying, I'm not committed, the next day coming out and saying, hey, we're going to start Russ again. What mindset would that give you as an owner or a GM if you had a head coach coming in and saying, one day I'm not deciding, I'm undecisive, and then day 2, you know what, we're going to just do this again?
Does this guy know what he's doing? Like, seriously, my question is, how does this guy still have a job? What has he done for the Giants? They're not winning under him. How does he still have a job? How does their GM, as cool as he seemed on Hard Knocks 2 years ago, how does he still not have how does he still have a job?
Yeah.
Russell Wilson gives them the best chance of winning. If they keep going at this rate, I could see Jackson Dart starting by week 6.
Yeah.
If this is how they're going to do it, throw him out there. Russell Wilson himself, he's not perfect in this. If you see highlights from that Giants game, he did not want to take hits. He was giving himself up when the pocket collapsed. Instead of trying to step forward and make a play, he started going down. Like, I don't know if he didn't realize how bad the Giants O-line was when he signed with them, or he just doesn't want to get hit at his age anymore. But if your quarterback's going to play like this, and I'm a Russell Wilson guy. He was the only Seahawk that I secretly cheered for. And then he went to Denver, cheered for him there, cheered for him at Pittsburgh, didn't like that he got released by Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And now he goes to the Giants, and he's just acting like he's scared of getting hit. If this is the way he's going to play, put Dart in there. Give him reps, but don't do it before the game starts. Do it on a Monday so he has a full week of reps with the first team. But I think by week 6 or 7, if the Giants keep going this way, Jackson Dart will be in there.
I was in between the Commanders game and the Jets, the Commanders-Giants, Jets-Pittsburgh game on Sunday. I was in between channels trying to keep an eye on both games, mainly watch the Pittsburgh Jets game. But what I seen from the Commanders-Giants game, that Giants offensive line, it doesn't look like it improved. It doesn't look like they got better. It doesn't look like they had the mindset of, we got to protect our quarterback. They had Russell Wilson pretty much scared. The Commanders defense had Russell Wilson scared for his life basically all game. And that was rough to watch, to see Russell Wilson, a Super Bowl winning quarterback who went out and did great things in Seattle, had a rough go in Denver, but still did good statistically, and went to Pittsburgh and took them to the playoffs, come into the Giants, want to do something good, but yet the offensive line just doesn't seem like they give a crap to protect the guy. So, I mean,
Wilson was sacked 2 times, and there was only 74 rushing yards by the Giants. 44 of that came from Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
that means
running for his life.
Giant running backs only had 30 yards on 15 carries. That's 2 yards per carry. That's terrible.
Well, in the chat says Russell Wilson has more bathrooms in his house than touchdown passes on the field.
Hey, Will.
What's up,
He
Will?
might. You never. This
Yeah,
year he might.
yeah, he might. He might end up with more bathrooms in his house than he would touchdown passes. If the Giants keep playing the way that they're playing this year, that might be the case. That might be. So let's move on. Eagles and Jaguars ended up in a trade on Monday evening. The Eagles sent over a 2026 fifth round and 2026 sixth round draft pick to the Jacksonville Jaguars. In return, the Philadelphia Eagles received running back Tank Bigsby. So now Tank Bigsby is a part of the Eagles running back room, along with Saquon Barkley, A.J. Dillon, and Will Shipley. John, your thoughts on this trade? Tank Bigsby going to the Eagles. I mean, a jam-packed running back room to begin with in Philadelphia. Yeah, and it's obviously going to be based on Saquon Barkley. We all know that. But now it's the question of, do you put Tank Bigsby in the position of a rotation as a backup with the other two guys, or do you rely on him? Because we know Tank Bigsby is a good running back. Do you put him in the position of being the full-time backup and the other two guys in rotation?
I like this trade for both teams. As far as Bigsby goes, I
Yeah.
would straight up put him as the number 2. Straight up. He's better than Dillon. Dillon's old. He's injury prone. And Will Shipley, you told me the other day he's fast, but he's undersized.
Yes.
Bigsby was the guy that was supposed to be a 1-2 punch with Travis Etienne. And they both didn't pan out together for some reason. Jacksonville said earlier before week 1 that they need to get Travis Etienne involved more, whether it's in the passing game, in the running game. Now they can do it. They can solely focus on him. And it gives Bigsby, yeah, it sucks. He's not going to touch the ball as much as he would in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
But you never know. Barkley is on the cover of Madden. You never know. Look what happened at Christian McCaffrey
don't put that out
last
in the
year.
universe. Don't put that out in the universe. Come on now.
Everybody knows it. Stop it. Everybody knows it.
I'll say this. I think the rotation in the game on Thursday night in Philadelphia with Will Shipley and Saquon Barkley was fairly good. And Will Shipley got touches. So I don't think Saquon's going to be the running workhorse that he was last year. Do I still think he'll get the yards and stuff like that, touchdowns and everything? Yeah, I do. I think he'll get it. But I think his touches, as far as reps, will probably go down slightly to kind of give him that break. And this is a jam-packed running back room. So they have other guys they can rely on and kind of give him that breather. Will in the chat says, stop sending players to the Eagles. Well, there's more addition to the Eagles because there's more in my news for the Philadelphia Eagles. So with that being said, John, Zadarius Smith, I'm very big on him. He has signed a 1-year deal with the Philadelphia Eagles. So Zadarius Smith, the edge rusher, is now in Philadelphia. I know this happened over the weekend. It happened after the Eagles game against the Cowboys on Thursday night. But I did want to get your thoughts on Zadarius Smith because we talked about Zadarius Smith in length on the debut episode of the Huddle Up podcast. Your thoughts on Zadarius Smith going into Philadelphia and now being an Eagle?
I think it's a good depth move. It'll be a good for a linebacker rotation. So, I mean, it can't hurt. Their defense is already one of the best in the NFL, so it definitely can't hurt. I think it's a really good depth move.
Yeah, I love the move. I'm so happy that Zadarius Smith is in Philadelphia now, and it's going to be a really good depth addition to this defense. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, now the Eagles defense, it's stacked, yada, yada. Yeah, well, that's what teams do when they have the money to spend to go sign guys. And Zadarius Smith, even though he's 32 years old and he's been around the league for a little bit now, I still think he's got, the size, the speed, the ability to make plays, especially when they count. So I think Zadarius Smith is going to be a great addition to that Eagles locker room. George Kittle, tight end of the 49ers, he suffered an Achilles injury on Sunday against the Seahawks. He is set to miss several weeks, about 3 to 5 weeks of play time. John, your thoughts on George Kittle and his injury?
He got put on IR, so the earliest he can come back is week 5. And that's huge, man. He was having a game before he got hurt. So, I mean, the other 2 backup tight ends stepped up. Hey, they did their job.
Yeah.
The thing that really hurts them is Ayuk is still hurt. Now Kittle's hurt. Purdy's dealing with injuries. Jawan Jennings, just that they had his MRI. Everything looks good. He's day-to-day now, so there's a chance he could play. But, I mean, it's a good thing they play the Saints this week because they could just say, listen, Purdy sit. Mac Jones, just don't do anything dumb. Manage the game. We're playing the Saints. And the Saints week came at the right time, but that Kittle blow, that's huge because I've said it many times, he's the best blocking tight end in the NFL, hands down. So yeah, that's a huge blow for that already hurt offense.
I mean, you go back to when the Deebo Samuels trade happened with the Commanders a few months ago, and you really had to think about whether Deebo leaving San Francisco was a good thing or not. That was a rough hit for them because Deebo Samuels, he's one of those jack of all trades kind of guys. He can be in the backfield and be a running back. He can go in motion and get like those little dump tosses to run the ball upfield. He can be a wide receiver and go run routes. Deebo Samuels is that all-around guy. They lost that. You look at George Kittle. He is almost like an all-around tight end. He can go play fullback and run the ball. He could be a blocking tight end. He can be a route-running tight end. So this is a significantly big loss for the 49ers, but at the same time, those backup tight ends, like you said, did great. Got in there and they played, and they did a great job for San Francisco on Sunday to get their win. But at the same time, 3 to 5 weeks, I mean, that's rough. That's a lot. That's a lot of football that he's going to miss.
Got to be a guaranteed 4 weeks because he's on the IR. So like I said,
yeah,
5 is when the earliest he can come back.
It would not surprise me, though, because, you know, when you look and see how George Kittle trains, and I said this to you the other day, when you go and look and see how George Kittle trains, the guy's a monster. He, like, the way he trains his body physically and his mind emotionally, he's one of those guys that can end up healing himself before he's even supposed to. It would not surprise me. Yes, he's on IR. He is set to be out for 4 weeks no matter what.
He can't come back early.
Can't come back. It would not surprise me in 2 weeks if he's on the sideline and he's fully ready to go, but then he can't. So I would expect George Kittle to be on that sideline kind of like, man, if I could suit up, like amped up, ready to go. It wouldn't surprise me. So, speaking of Brock Purdy, quarterback of the 49ers, he is dealing with a shoulder and toe injury. If he is not cleared to play on Sunday against the Saints, then backup Mac Jones will start at quarterback, as you mentioned. I don't know if you have any further thoughts on this situation or not with Brock Purdy, but this is another rough hit for the 49ers to start the season.
I would start Mac Jones, like I said. There's no reason not to. The Saints are probably around 20th in the league in defense. They're not great. They're a huge work in progress. I feel like Mac Jones should be able to handle the Saints. I really do. I mean, the Saints right now, as far as passing yards, they gave up. I mean, they're 30th in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's not good for them.
I mean, the Saints are missing some pieces on the defensive side of the ball. And again, we've talked about the Saints already and have said that you look at what they've done in the offseason. They drafted, Tyler Shook at quarterback, and they decided to go with Spencer Rattler to start. Yes, that's on the offensive side of the ball. It's just a little decision-making that they've made in the offseason that kind of get you thinking, what is New Orleans doing? Because it didn't seem like they made any moves that were going to help them further along what they need to do to become a successful football team again. It's almost like they're sitting there saying, you know what, we're going to give you guys at best a 5-12 season again. So we'll have to see what happens on Sunday when the 49ers take on the Saints. The NFL has banned a fan. John, I don't know if you've seen about this. The NFL has banned a fan from not only Ravens games, but from all NFL stadiums. Why? Because after DeAndre Hopkins caught his touchdown in the Ravens-Bills game Sunday night, This fan decided to push DeAndre Hopkins on the helmet. Well, Lamar Jackson, he pushed the fan back because the fan, if you watch the video, kept kind of going at it. And Lamar
him in the head.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson, he's not going to be facing any consequences, but the fan is banned not only from the Ravens games, but he's banned from the NFL for life. Your thoughts on this, if you have any, with this fan and being banned? Do you think he should have been banned?
Yeah, he put his hands on players. He reached over the barricade and bopped not one, but two guys on the helmet. So, I mean, you don't do that. That's just dumb on his part. He should be banned. And I agree, Lamar should not get any type of punishment. Should he have shoved him? Absolutely not. He should have did what DeAndre Hopkins did and just ignored it and walked away. He should have not retaliated, though. You got to set that standard. He's one of the faces of the league.
I mean, I don't blame Lamar for reacting the way he did. I don't blame him for pushing the fan back. I mean, the big question is where's security? Where's security? Where are they doing their job? They should be standing right there watching things like that. And I get it. There's so much going on. There's players celebrating, all that stuff. You know, and maybe there was a security guard there and they got pushed out of position. But instead of standing farther towards the field, how about back yourself and plant yourself against the wall where the fans are sitting? That way you're there to keep things from this happening. Instead, no security, fan makes a dumb decision, and now cannot attend any more football games. So, and I agree, Lamar, he shouldn't have to face anything. He's just kind of trying to protect. He's trying to protect the safety of a teammate. So, Jabril Peppers, safety, free agent safety. He got released by the Patriots during the offseason. He still had $3 million left on his contract with the Patriots after being released. He got picked up by the Pittsburgh Steelers today. So your thoughts about the addition of Jabril Peppers to the Steelers defense?
Yeah, I mean, it can't hurt them. I mean, it's, if anything, I think it's a good depth move. So trying to get those little pieces together so they can try to contend and finally win that first playoff game since 2016. I don't see how this could hurt them.
I like this move for the Steelers, whether it's a depth move, whether it's a way to add on to what you're putting on the field. I know that that one of their starting safeties is injured and is going to miss multiple weeks, so this is another good pickup for the Steelers to fill that position in that void. Instead of trying to rely maybe on a rookie that's still trying to learn, you get a veteran in there that can learn the process quickly and get on the field for you. So I definitely like this pickup by the Steelers. Jake Moody, kicker of the 49ers, he was put on waivers today. He is not going to be the kicker for the 49ers. So, John, very simply, I know I don't have to ask you this personally because I know your feelings, but for the sake of the Huddle Hub podcast, John, what are your thoughts on Jake Moody being waived by the 49ers?
God, he's been inconsistent since he was drafted 3 years ago. I've been waiting for him to get cut. So, yeah, thank God.
I mean, I had Jake Moody on one of my fantasy teams. I believe it was 2 years ago. He did pretty from him. He did pretty decent for me 2 years ago. I'm not gonna lie, pretty decent. He helped me seal away some wins. Yeah, yeah. So a couple more things. Jalen Carter, defensive tackle of the Eagles, he was fined $57,222 after being ejected from Thursday's game against the Cowboys. Before the first snap can even be made after the opening kickoff, he decided to. There was a little altercation between him and Dak Prescott. If you watch the video, Dak Prescott, he spit in the direction of Jalen Carter, but it hit the ground. He did not hit Jalen Carter. Now, whether it was Dak's intentions or not to, spit on Jalen Carter, he didn't. It hit the ground. Now, Jalen Carter, again, whether it was his intentions or not, he hit Dak Prescott. He got fined the $57,222, and he also got ejected from the game immediately. Now, the NFL said that since he got ejected right at the beginning of the game and didn't play any snaps, they are counting this as his one-game suspension and will be able to play Sunday against the Chiefs. So your thoughts on this with Jalen Carter?
Stupid games get you stupid prizes, my friend. And there was no question about if he meant to spit on Dak Prescott. He walked right up to him and spit on his jersey. There was 100% intention to do that, but he's got to control that. You can't make dumb mistakes like that. Say they would have lost to that game, and he could have been the very reason why they lost.
Yeah.
And they only won by 4 points. It was 24-20. They
Yeah.
lost because CeeDee Lamb kept dropping key passes at the end of the game. If Lamb makes those, who knows? Miles Sanders breaks that big run, and then fumbles on the next play. If Dallas didn't beat themselves, then Jalen Carter could have very well been the reason why that they lost that game.
I mean, I had said to you that, Dak Prescott was fairly comfortable in the pocket on Thursday. Jalen Carter, he is a big piece of that puzzle when it comes to the middle of the field for the Eagles defense. You go back and watch highlights of him. He is a juggernaut in the middle of that field. No questions about it. Somebody had said to me, if CeeDee Lamb doesn't drop those passes, what are your thoughts? And I said, Dallas wins. It's as simple as that. And if Miles Sanders didn't fumble, Dallas wins. It's as simple as that. Dallas had Philadelphia's number on Thursday's game, but they didn't execute. They didn't make it happen. So they beat themselves up and they lost. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to sit here and say that, the Cowboys played a crappy game or the Eagles dominated. No, this was a great game from these two teams. And Dallas had not only one, not only two, they had a few opportunities to go out there and win this ball game. They didn't execute. It's as simple as that. But if they would have executed those plays, does Dallas win this ball game? Yeah, they do. They do. And you heard it from me. So that just goes to show that being the unbiased podcaster that I have to be. Admitting to it, though. New kickoff rule, John. The new kickoff rule led to the highest return rate since 2010. The return rate in week 1 was 75.6%. So your thoughts on the new kickoff return rate from week 1 since 2010?
It's a success. So I don't see a problem with it. There's finally making guys run the ball. So I wish they would go back to the old way, but this is better than nothing. So, and there was like 1 or 2 that almost broke. So, I mean, it's a success so far.
I liked the new kickoff rule from the beginning. I did. I liked it. I liked how it was set up. And I had a feeling they were going to expand on it even after year 1. That I know this is going to be a test in the process of what they're trying to do. But I see this kickoff rule staying around. I do. I don't see them going anywhere with it. I don't see them changing it up. Nothing. I think it is perfect to where it's at now. Yes, the return rate is up. The only problem is, there were some players that in the opening kickoff got injured. The worst, Van Sumerson from the Eagles, the fullback, he's out for the season because he got injured on the opening kickoff. But, it's going to happen. It's part of the game. Players are going to get hurt no matter how much you try and change things up. It's going to happen. And it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. But, I'm liking the way this new kickoff rule is going right now. I like it. Some college stuff, John. I pulled out some college news.
Good. Yeah.
I pulled out some college news as well because we are going we're going to go over the college news. We'll take about a 30-second break after that, and then we will get into previewing week 3 of the college football season. But let's first get through the college news. Willie Simmons, head coach of Florida International, he is being fined $50,000 for yelling profanities at Penn State on Saturday's game after their loss to Penn State 34-0. So the NCAA kind of cracking down on this head coach for yelling at the Penn State players and yelling profanities. And John, even in the reports, it says that the coach was yelling to the players of Penn State to go F themselves. So your thoughts on Willie Simmons, the head coach of Florida International, getting fined?
That's the one guy who doesn't like to lose. I mean, they got stomped 34-0. So I'm sorry. I mean, Florida International against Penn State. The score could have been a lot worse. I mean,
Yeah.
Florida State put up 77 in their game, and then there was another score in the 70s. Like when you're a bigger, smaller school, because they're not like Delaware, but they're not like Penn State. It's gonna happen. Big schools stack the first 3 games of their schedule
Yeah.
with easy opponents to give them half a bowl eligibility right from the start. It's gonna happen. Like, I don't know what he was surprised about, why he was so mad. They were 1-0 going to it, so it's not like they're 0-2. Like, yo, just chill, man,
Yeah.
chill.
I mean, when you think about the new ranking system and the new playoff system and everything, you can go out and lose a game or two and still be in the top 25. You have that opportunity. One school that currently is proving that is the University of South Florida. They were unranked.
Schools.
Yeah, I mean, they went into the season unranked, and now they're in the top 25, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But they're in the top 25.
Yeah, beat Boise State and then Florida. I mean,
Yeah.
they're doing what they need to do to get noticed.
So there you go, Florida International. Get your stuff together, win games, get in the top 25, and put yourself in a position to be playoff eligible, or at least big bowl game eligible. So the Big 12 is going to be fining and the officiating crew of the Kansas-Missouri game from Saturday after they failed to enforce a kickoff rule. So an officiating crew getting fined for not enforcing a kickoff rule in a game. Do you think that's too much of a drastic measure, or do you think that the Big 12 is making the right decision on this?
What's the rule? Do you know?
It did not say what the rule was. It just said that they were getting fined for not enforcing a kickoff rule.
Well, I mean, I get it. They're humans and they make mistakes, but I guess you have to hold them accountable too, just like you got to hold the coaching staff and coaches have to hold a player accountable. I mean, somebody's got to hold them accountable. So, I mean, I guess it's an is what it is thing, because I really don't know what the rule was that they missed. But, I mean, I guess just do your job to the best you can do.
Yeah, I mean, officiating crews aren't perfect, and we know that.
Oh,
I mean, you look at the NFL and you look at the officiating crews that will officiate, Chiefs games. They're getting accused for being on the Chiefs side because they're making calls for other teams, but not making calls for the Chiefs.
that's just people being nonsense and petty.
Exactly. So
I said the same thing about the Patriots with Brady's run.
Exactly. Referees make mistakes, and they get enough heat for the mistakes by being accused for doing something like favoring other teams. This is a kickoff rule. I think this is a little bit overboard in a sense because it's on a kickoff. I can see if it was during a play that may have been crucial, but on a kickoff, I don't know. That's just a little too uptight in my eyes. I mean, I think I would have to see what the ruling was.
Same here.
Because again, the ruling wasn't disclosed. It just said that they were getting fined for not enforcing a rule. What was the rule? That's what I'd like to know. Then I'd be able to sit here and give you my full assessment on what I think about this. But right now, since I don't know what it is, I think it's a little, being a little too uptight.
No, it is what it is, I guess. I don't know that's why I asked you. What's the rule?
Pretty much.
Hey, Cam, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Cam? Colorado, they have made the decision that they are going to start quarterback Ryan Staub going into their conference matchups. It looks like Caden Salter was their starting quarterback to start the season.
He was.
Yep, 30 of 44, 261 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions for Colorado. But now they're making the decision on Ryan Staub as the starting quarterback. Do you have any thoughts on this one?
That really surprised me because I even said during week 1, or it might have been week 0, I watched that first Colorado game because Caden Salter was really good for Liberty. And when he transferred over to Colorado, I wanted to see how he would do on the next level. And I feel like he's been playing good. So Coach Prime, he must be seeing something in the other guy over Caden Salter as a reason why Salter would get benched.
Yeah.
But I don't see a legit reason why Caden should get benched. It's not like Colorado lost on Saturday, but I don't know. Maybe he thinks the other guy gives them their best chance of winning. We'll have to see how this goes.
It almost seems like that's as simple as what it is they think that he thinks he has the best chance of going out there and winning a ball game for them. That's what it almost sounds like, because Salter, you look at his statistics, doesn't look like he's having a bad start.
He's been good his whole college career.
Yeah.
That's why he left Liberty. He wanted to go to a bigger school.
Well, we'll have to see how Ryan Staub does now as the new starting quarterback for Colorado. Last bit of news here. Mississippi State may be facing a fine after storming the field on Saturday after their win.
That happens at home games.
Yeah. That was going to be my question is, do you think this necessarily needs to happen? Does the NCAA need to fine a school for storming a field after a big win?
Go back and watch Florida State, Alabama. The moment the clock hit 0, the FSU faithful ran onto that field and celebrated and partied. Like, that's part of college football. That's part of the game. I mean, obviously it doesn't happen on the pros, but college is a little bit different. Yeah. You feel like you're more a part of the school, especially if you go there or you're an alumni there. So of course you're going to want, and even if you're a fan, you still feel like you have that connection. So I don't agree with it. I don't understand it, but who did Mississippi State play?
I can double check.
I mean, was it somebody big? Okay, they beat Arizona State. Mississippi State upset.
Yeah.
Number 12, Arizona State.
Yes. Arizona State was ranked. Yes. I mean, Arizona State, I believe, is still ranked. No. They knocked them out of the rankings for this week.
No, they're 2-0.
Yeah.
They win their first game of the season against a ranked opponent.
Yeah.
And they get fined for celebrating it? That makes no sense. I don't understand that.
I think I would have to go and watch the replay of the charging of the field. Necessarily, especially the television broadcast of it. Because, again, for fans to storm the field, it's a normal thing for...
It's always been a thing.
It has been. It's a normal thing for the fans of an unranked team to go out and storm the field when a team that's unranked beats a ranked team. It is a thing. Well, it's been a thing. It's a tradition all around college football. Even basketball, it happens. Happens during basketball, right?
Yeah, they storm the court.
Big rivalries.
Big win.
Yes. I think I would have to go see the television broadcast and see if there was anything that is enforcing this fine to possibly happen. Like maybe somebody on the Mississippi State side did something that was not good for television and it was a bad look. I don't know. I would have to go and watch that. So I think that's something that I'm going to do. And then me and Cam can assess it on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'll look that up and see if I can find anything. And if so, Sunday morning, me and Cam will assess it. And we can even come back next Tuesday and assess it as well and talk about it since we talked about it today. I'll see if I can find it. So, but that's all I got for the news. So yeah, John, let's take 30 to 45 seconds. Take a breather here. We're going to preview week 3 of the college football season coming up. But let's take about 30 to 45 seconds, John, right here on the Huddle Podcast. Shut up. So make sure you're heading over to all the Huddle Hub Podcast social medias right now, hitting that follow button on X and TikTok at the Huddle Hub Pod, also on YouTube at the Huddle Hub Pod. On YouTube, hit that subscribe button. That's how you follow. On the YouTube, it would definitely be appreciated. You don't have to pay anything. And on the Twitch at the Huddle Hub Podcast, all the links to all the socials are in the bio on the Twitch channel. If you want to just go click on the links, go hit that follow button. It would definitely be appreciated as we build the Huddle Hub Podcast going through the 2025 season and beyond. So, John, we got week 3 of college football coming up this week. A couple top 25 matchups. Number 18, USF is going to head into Miami to take on number 5, Miami. Number 6, Georgia is taking on number 15, Tennessee, and number 16, Texas A&M is taking on number 8, Notre Dame. Those are the matchups happening inside the top 25. John, let's run down the top 25 real quick because we have a new top 25. We have some teams that are in the rankings now. Some teams got knocked out. So let's start number 1, Ohio State taking on Ohio. Any thoughts on this game?
Well, Ohio's going to see that this isn't West Virginia they're playing, and they're definitely not going to get the upset this week. I think Ohio State's going to trounce them.
Yeah, I think Ohio State's going to move to 3-0, stick around in that number 1 spot. Number 2, Penn State. They're going to take on Villanova. I think this is another Ohio State situation. Penn State's going to go in and beat Villanova.
Yeah, there's no reason Penn State should lose this game.
Number 3, LSU. They are going to head. They're hosting Florida. Florida, who is now unranked, getting knocked out of the rankings this week. So, any thoughts on that one?
Ooh, LSU and Florida.
It's a big matchup, but Florida's out of the rankings now, and people, I'll tell you this right now, Florida. There was a thing where apparently fans were walking out of the stadium after their loss, and fans are pretty much calling for the head coach to be fired, and he has been on the hot seat since the beginning of the year.
I think LSU is going to beat Florida.
Yeah.
Clemson was cocky enough to call their place bigger than the Bayou, and LSU went into Clemson, and they showed Clemson, no, we'll show you the Bayou.
Yeah.
Florida hasn't made those claims, but I think it lit a fire under Clemson because they haven't lost yet.
Number 4, Oregon is going to be heading out to Northwestern to take on Northwestern. Do you have any thoughts on this one?
It should be Oregon should win that one.
Miami is going to head to South Florida to take on the newly ranked number 18 USF. This should be a pretty big game. USF is at the top of their game right now. They're undefeated, getting themselves into the ranking. Your thoughts on this one? And if you want to pick a winner, do you got to pick on a winner on this one?
Oh, I definitely do. Miami. People were sleeping on Carson Beck this year. I said it when he transferred from Georgia last year to Miami, or this year, I mean, in the portal. People forgot about him because he got hurt last year. Now he's tearing it up with Miami. 472 yards, 4 touchdowns already. And I think South Florida is going to put up somewhat of a fight, but I could see Miami winning this, like, I don't know, like 42 to 18 or 42 to 21.
I don't know. I have a feeling with USF playing as good as they're playing right now, getting themselves into the rankings, I mean, it would not surprise me if South Florida goes in and upsets. Wouldn't surprise me. Still think Miami might win this game, but it would not surprise me if South Florida goes in and wins. It wouldn't. Georgia is heading out to number 15, Tennessee. Big matchup down south, Tennessee, Georgia. Your thoughts on this one?
That Georgia, Tennessee?
Yeah.
All right. I think Georgia's going to take it. I'm questioning Tennessee. They've played really well. I thought when Nico left, and they got a true freshman in there now. And what is his name? Joey Aguilar, true freshman. He's doing good. They're winning. They're 2-0. He's got over 500 passing yards in these 2 games. But I just feel like Gunnar Stockton and Georgia, they're built for this. They're ranked 6th. This is a huge SEC matchup, and I think Georgia's going to take it.
Okay. Number 7, Texas. They're 1-1. They are going to be playing host to UTEP.
Oh, that's an easy Texas.
Pretty easy Texas win. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see that too. Number 8, Notre Dame is going to be heading out to Texas to take on number 16, Texas A&M. Notre Dame, they're 0-1 heading into this game after dropping their first game. I mean, I can see Texas A&M going in and winning this game. I have a feeling that Notre Dame may not be the same Notre Dame team they were last year. So I think I would have to go with Texas A&M in this one.
Disagree. I'm going with Notre Dame.
Okay.
I really like CJ Carr, another freshman starter. I think he's going to be the future of Notre Dame, and I think he's just getting started. And this is going to be his first real big win.
Okay. And just to verify, this is not an official pick challenge thing. We're just running down the top 25. We're just running down the top 25 because it is a new top 25. We do have our own college football pick challenge, though, to where we pick one team from the top 25 each week. We cannot pick them 2 times a year. It's basically one team from the top 25 each week, and we see who has the better win-loss record at the end of the year, whether it's 13-0 or 12-1, whatever. But we cannot pick twice. So, for example, I picked Georgia last week. I can't pick them again. That's it. I picked them once. That's it. Whether they fall out of the top 25 and hop back in or not, I cannot pick them again. Number 9, Illinois. They are going to be playing Western Michigan. Your thoughts on this one? Do you have anything on this one?
I don't see any reason why Illinois should lose to Western Michigan. So, no.
Florida State, they bumped up 4 more spots into the top 25. They are now number 10. They're on a bye.
Yeah,
I was getting there. They're on a bye.
I know my team.
We're running down the top 25, so I cannot sit here and not say anything about them, especially with them moving up 4 spots from unranked to 14th, now up into the top 10 in 3 weeks is awesome. Thanks, but they are on a bye. Number 11, South Carolina is going to be playing Vanderbilt. Anything on this one?
This game intrigues me a lot. South Carolina and Vanderbilt. I'm actually trying to find it on here real quick. Where are you hiding? But this game intrigues me a lot. You have a quarterback in South Carolina that is looked at as probably the best in the class, Lenoris Sellers. He's a top candidate for the Heisman. And then you have the Commodores, undefeated. And I feel like this is a trap game for South Carolina. It's an SEC matchup. So I'm going to go with the Commodores over here. Wrong commies.
Okay. Number 12, Clemson, 1-1 heading in to take on Georgia Tech. Big ACC matchup.
A lot of people at the beginning of the season thought Georgia Tech was ready to take that next step. They're 2-0, and they are an overall approved team this year than last year. And I'm going to say it right now, Georgia Tech upsets Clemson. It's going to happen. I fully believe in Georgia Tech football this year.
Okay. So you think maybe Georgia Tech can maybe hop into the top 25 at the end of the week? Maybe 25, 24, 23, somewhere around there in the 20s?
Well, let's see. Well, they beat Colorado the first week, and then they beat Gardner-Webber. So if they beat Clemson, I could see them easily hop in 23, 24, 25.
I could see that in the 20s. Nowhere underneath the under 20, but in the 20s.
Georgia Tech is a team that people are sleeping on this year.
Okay. We got Oklahoma, who bumped up 5 spots in the top 25 from 18 to 13 now. They're going to be heading into South Philly to take on the Temple Owls. So your thoughts on this one?
Temple may be undefeated, but they're not going to know what hit them when John Mater comes to town in Oklahoma.
Yeah. I mean, Temple is in a very, I mean, they're in one of those conferences that you most likely will never see a representative in the college football playoffs unless they do something big. This is a big matchup for Temple. This is a big opportunity for Temple. Being undefeated, going in against Oklahoma, hosting Oklahoma, this is a huge opportunity for them. And if they want to, they just need to take full advantage of it. Like, take that advantage. Don't hold back. Because if you could beat the number 13 team in the nation, who knows? We could be ending up seeing the Temple Owls inside the top 25 in the next week or two.
Possible.
We could.
Look what it did for Florida State.
Yeah.
It has happened already.
It has. Number 14, Iowa State. They will head into Arkansas to take on Arkansas State. Any thoughts on this one?
I really don't see the Wolfpack winning. As fun as I've had with them last year in college football, I don't see the Wolfpack having a chance. Iowa State's going to take that one.
All right. We already covered number 15 and 16, Tennessee and Texas A&M. Number 17, Ole Miss takes on Arkansas.
Miss and Arkansas. Well, Arkansas, I mean, they're 2-0. And they haven't been relevant in a while. Like, championship contender, SEC contender relevant in a while. And I just don't see them overtaking Ole Miss this time. I think Ole Miss is going to beat them and probably move up a couple spots.
Ole Miss last year was one of those teams that I felt like just tried to hang around as much as they can in the top 25, and it almost feels that way this year too. Like, I would have to go back and look at the rankings from the previous last 2 weeks, and I don't believe they moved much in the top 25. I don't think they did. I think they stuck around between 20 and 15. I believe so. I have to go back and look, but Ole Miss is kind of one of those teams that just tries to stick around, and they win game. They win games, obviously, but I don't know. Ole Miss just gives me that vibe. But I don't see Ole Miss winning this game either. I mean, I see Ole Miss winning this game. I don't see Arkansas winning this game. We already covered South Florida at number 18. Number 19, Alabama. They are 1-1. They're going to be playing Wisconsin in Alabama. Sorry, they're hosting Wisconsin. Any thoughts on this one? Wisconsin's been one of those teams. They've, you could consider them a big school, but as of late, they haven't shown it.
I agree with that. I think Alabama's going to continue rolling.
Yeah.
They had their hiccup where maybe they underestimated Florida State, which is fine. The next week, how do you respond? You beat UL Monroe 73-0. Okay, Alabama, I think that loss woke them up. They're fired up now. Ty Simpson's tearing it up, throwing the ball. So I see Alabama to continue to roll here.
I wouldn't say Alabama underestimated Florida State. I think they approached Florida State with the intentions of, we know we can go in and beat this team after the year that they had last year. And they knew that Florida State would give them a game. They just didn't think Florida State was going to come in and give them the game that they did. If that makes sense. Like, yeah, there may have been a little bit of underestimation, but I don't think that was their full intent going into the Florida State game.
I think it was underestimation because Florida State was 2-10 last year.
That's fair.
So I feel like they went, okay, we got this. They're a rebuilding school. They couldn't even win more than 3 games.
That's fair.
That's how I see it.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Number 20, Utah. They are 2-0. They're going to be heading into Wyoming to take on Wyoming.
But Wyoming's also 2-0, which is great for them. But the problem is they're playing Utah, and I don't see them stopping Utah.
Number 21, Texas Tech is going to be playing Oregon State.
This is another one I feel Texas Tech is going to be in full control of, and they're going to take down Oregon State.
Okay. Number 22, Indiana. They are going to be taking on Indiana State, an interstate rivalry game, basically.
Again, another 2 undefeated teams going at it, but let's be honest here. Indiana State is no Indiana. This should be an easy Indiana win.
Michigan coming off their loss against Oklahoma, dropping from number 15 to 23, will be taking on Central Michigan. Do you think the Michigan Wolverines, I mean, I know last year they had a bit of a rough year, post Harbaugh, but now they're in their second year post Harbaugh. Do you think that Michigan is a slightly more different team than they were last year, for better or for worse?
I think they're definitely different because I feel like they're running a different style than when Harbaugh was there. I mean, and they didn't really lose by much. I mean, they only lost by 9 points to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. They lost by 11 points to Oklahoma.
Yep.
2 scores.
24 to 13, yeah.
I feel like Michigan's they're not on a rebuild, but they kind of have to figure out their identity and who's going to step up when they need them to right now.
I mean, like I mentioned in shows past, college football, they kind of have that rotation. Like in the NFL doesn't have the rotation. They have the whole free agency and draft and all that stuff. College football has the rotation of scouting. You know what I mean? Like every 4 years you have a slew of new players coming. I mean, every year you have new players coming in, but it's all about them going out and the recruiting process and the cycle of it. It's like Georgia for 4 or 5 years was a dominant force in college football. Now you could still consider Georgia a dominant force in college football, but it seems like they can't get out of or over that top 5 hump. I mean, last year they did, like towards the back end of the season, I believe it was, but it's like they're kind of sticking around in that top 10, but on the bottom half of the top 10, they're not in 1, 2, 3, 4, or even 5. They're at 6 to 10 ratio. So they're not that dominating force that they were for 4 or 5 seasons ago, winning national championships, making it to the national championship, or contending for said national championship every year. So it's that recruiting rotation that comes up, and you're starting to see some of the other teams that may have not been considered powerhouses, or they were considered powerhouses, but now they're actually getting up to that standard and being those dominant teams. Like, for example, Penn State. Penn State every year has problems with Ohio State. We know that. They have sometimes had problems with Michigan as well. They're on a 7-8 year losing streak to Ohio State right now. Haven't beaten Ohio State in how many years? This is, if anything, this is the year that there could be the possibility of Penn State beating Ohio State. And this may be their only chance in the next 3 or 4 years, because they're losing Drew Allard at the end of the year. They're losing a couple other guys at the end of the year, maybe a Dennis Sutton. So it's that recruiting rotation that happens that helps these teams be powerhouses. So that's just my guess. I mean, I could be wrong on that for all I know.
I completely agree. This is their best chance that they have to do it.
Yeah. And that's just my assumption, though. I could be wrong on it, but who knows? It's just what makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, that's what makes sense to me. Number 24, Auburn. They are playing South Alabama. So another win for Auburn.
Yeah, Auburn's going to keep rolling to 3-0.
And then to wrap up the number 25, Missouri. They're going to be playing Louisiana. Not LSU, just Louisiana.
Yeah, this will be an easy win for Missouri.
Yeah. So, but that wraps up the top 25. We will do the post-week talk on Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time when we go live. But that wraps up the matchups coming up in the top 25 for college football. I didn't know if you had any other college football matchups you wanted to highlight before we close things out here tonight, John.
I was super excited about the backyard brawl on Saturday at 3:00. Pittsburgh coming to Morgantown, West Virginia, but then Jameer White, West Virginia's best player, their starting running back, got hurt against Ohio, and he is done for the year. So, as much as I don't want to say it, I don't see West Virginia winning the backyard brawl this year. But who knows?
Yeah. All right, John. Well, let's start getting the hell out of here for the night. And before we do so, John, your socials are on the your socials are on the bottom. Do you have anything you want to let the people know? Anything you got coming up? Social media wise,
I
anything?
got a lot of stuff coming up. I have on my YouTube channel, the Candyman JH. I have my franchise. I'm rebuilding the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. I believe I have the first 3 episodes dropping this week. I got a Dead by Daylight video dropping on the Huddle Hub. Yes, the Huddle Hub YouTube channel. This week, Mike and I are doing an online dynasty where he's playing Penn State and I'm playing West Virginia. The first season, 2025, drops throughout the week. So the last episode drops Friday for the first season. So check it out. We got some fun stuff coming up on. I got some fun stuff coming up on my channel, and Mike and I have some fun stuff coming up on the Huddle Hub YouTube channel.
Yep. So if you head over to the Huddle Hub Podcast YouTube channel right now at the Huddle Hub Podcast, there are ways to search up. We have playlists. So we have full episodes of the Huddle Hub Podcast. We have special things from the Huddle Hub Podcast. We also have our shorts, and we also have video game stuff. And you can find all the video game stuff under the playlist for Dynasty for what me and John are doing. John also has his own RTG stuff posted up, his rebuild for Hawaii on there as well. So all the playlists, and make sure you're going to John's social medias and checking out his YouTube channel as well, and checking out everything he's posting up there. Dead by Daylight, college football, other video game stuff to check out. So make sure you're not only heading over to the Huddle Hub Podcast YouTube and checking out the stuff that John's posting for the video game stuff, but also heading over to his socials as well, checking out everything he's posting personally over there. If you want to, oh my gosh, I hit the wrong thing. If you want to check me out, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Snapchat, Metal Mike 714 is where you can find me. I will be back here on Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with Cam as we recap week 3 of the college football season. And we will also be previewing week 2 of the NFL season. And I will be announcing John's picks for our NFL pick challenge. John, you are 2-0 in the college football pick challenge. You are 12-4 in the NFL pick challenge right now. I'm 1-1 in the college football and 11-5 in the NFL.
State.
So yeah, so those are our records right now in the pick challenge. But if you want to check me out on social media, I don't post too much of like a steady stream of content. I just post stuff. Most of my content is on shows here. So, that's where most of my content come from. So, but that's all we got. We'll see you guys Sunday. Me and Cam will be on Sunday. As I always say, be good to each other, be kind to each other, take care of each other, be patient with each other. Remember, the world is not moving as fast as you think. Until Sunday, see you guys later. Deuces.